A business plan is a written document that defines a company's goals, roles, and strategies for the future.
Business plan. Business and organizational strategies are formalized and clearly specified within an organization's business plan. A business plan is a written document that describes the overall direction of the company and what it wants to become in the future. A business plan in part as follows: a statement of long-range strategy and revenue, cost, and profit objectives, usually accompanied by budgets, a projected balance sheet, and a cash flow, source and application of funds, statement. A business plan is usually stated in terms of dollars and grouped by product family. The business plan is then translated into synchronized tactical functional plans through the production planning process, or the sales and operations planning process. Although frequently stated in different terms, dollars versus units, these tactical plans should agree with each other and with the business plan. The business plan provides general direction regarding how the company plans on achieving its long-term objectives. Key functions such as finance, engineering, marketing, and operations typically have input into the plan. The finance function manages and tracks the sources of funds, amounts available for use, cash flows, budgets, profits, and return on investment. Engineering is responsible for research and development and the design and redesign of products that can be made most economically. Marketing's focus is on analysis of the marketplace and how the company positions itself and its products. You will learn more about the role of marketing in the next section. The goal of the operations function is to meet the demands of the marketplace via the organization's products. Operations also manages the manufacturing facilities, machinery, equipment, labor, and materials as efficiently as possible. These functional roles collectively support the success of the supply chain. The business plan is based on and aligned with the business strategy and with market requirements. It provides a framework for the organization's performance objectives that are tied to strategic goals. In the ideal world, formation of and changes to the business plan come from top management's modifications to the business strategy and organizational strategy. But in reality, that may not always be the case. Michael Porter, in his influential work on business strategy, Competitive Advantage, argued that an organization's fitness for a given competitive strategy relied on choices related to 5 fundamental elements of any business. Note that these are not Porter's famous 5 forces, but rather areas that need to be aligned to support a given strategy. Customer service: the accuracy, flexibility, and speed of responses and deliveries. Sales channels: the allowed methods of placing an order for goods or services. Value system: the value-added activities that the organization will provide, as well as those supply chain partners will provide. This requires specifying the core capabilities the organization will pursue and the capabilities that other supply chain partners will pursue to add value. Operating model: the way plan, make, source, deliver, and return operations are arranged to meet working capital and cost objectives at the proper level of customer service. Make to stock, make to order, and engineer to order are types of operating models. Asset footprint: the scope and location of owned and leased property, plant and equipment, information systems and infrastructure, cost, distribution, and skill levels of human resources, and access to capital. The idea here is to put the proper emphasis on each element, rather than isolating the decisions regarding each element, which could lead to sub-optimization and conflicting goals. The idea is to integrate planning for all of these business elements to develop a cohesive strategy. The business plan should contain information on these elements in the form of a value proposition, a discussion of core capabilities, a cost structure, and a revenue model.
An organization's value proposition is the set of activities used to deliver strategy and create value for customers. It may also include value from supply chain partners. Value simply means the worth of a good or service, whether tangible or intangible.
Value proposition. The organization's value proposition is the set of activities that the organization will use to actualize strategy and be considered valuable by the organization's customers. The value proposition may also explicitly discuss the value provided by supply chain partners. Value broadly is the worth of an item, good, or service. While this merely shifts the discussion from the meaning of value to the meaning of worth, it usefully includes both goods and services. A related concept, which is fundamentally important to supply chain management, is value added. Adding value to a good or service is the responsibility of each entity and process in the supply chain. Value added in manufacturing terms as the actual increase of utility from the viewpoint of the customer as a part is transformed from raw material to finished inventory. It is the contribution made by an operation or a plant to the final usefulness and value of a product, as seen by the customer. The objective is to eliminate all non-value added activities in producing and providing a good or service. The value proposition shows how the organization plans to emphasize each of Porter's 5 fundamental elements and thus provide the added value as defined by the customer in terms of customer service, quality, increase in utility for the price, and so on. The value proposition is a relative assessment of what is value added. An operation or process adds value if it does so better, faster, and/or cheaper than the available alternatives. Thus, it is benchmarked against competitors and third-party service providers. This analysis results in a set of core capabilities and a set of products or services better rendered by.
Core capabilities are the backbone of any organization. They're divided into 2 major areas: decision-making, like planning and enabling. And in decision-making, leaders plan and enable strategies. Execution, on the other hand, involves hands-on tasks that get products or services to the customer.
Outsourcing execution tasks can help organizations save costs while keeping quality in their core operations. This lets them focus on what matters.
By leveraging economies of scale and reducing costs through bulk operations, organizations gain a competitive edge.
Core capabilities. An organization's core capabilities can be analyzed best by breaking the necessary functions and activities down into categories: decision-making activities, planning, enabling, execution activities, sourcing, making, delivering, and returning. Organizations may choose to retain the decision-making activities and outsource some or all of the execution activities to organizations that can perform the job with lower-paid workers or other competitive advantages. However, many organizations retain certain portions of execution activities to meet quality objectives. For example, an organization could do its own purchasing and get bulk discounts while controlling quality levels, but then outsource the final assembly of the product to a third party who is responsible for final quality and lead time at a lower manufacturing cost. Core capabilities generally fall within one or more of 4 areas of competitive advantage. Economies of scale advantages take the form of the ability to get high use out of assets at a low per unit cost. This can involve bulk purchasing, high capacity production, large quantity shipping, or a large customer base. Geographic expertise or capacity advantages take the form of regional networking, business associations, language and culture expertise, or regional economies of scale. Technology advantages take the form of proprietary technologies that would be cost prohibitive to develop or license. Resource advantages take the form of currently available expertise or materials or financing that would take time and effort.
When we talk about cost structure, we're looking at everything that drives up business expenses, from customer service and staff salaries to website maintenance. Your operating model and asset footprint play a huge role too. Choosing between in-house and outsourced processes can tip the scales on cost, flexibility, and control.
Cost structure, higher levels of customer service, salesperson salaries, and website development and maintenance, and in-house versus contracted processes and services will all impose direct costs and overhead on the organization. In addition to this, the final two competitive forces of operating model and asset footprint strongly influence the organization's cost structure. The cost structure of various operating models differ significantly. Make-to-stock has low production costs but high inventory carrying costs. This model is best for standardized, high-volume products. Assemble-to-order, modules are made to stock but the final customer order is assembled only after being ordered, has moderate production costs and low inventory carrying and planning costs. This model is for moderate to high-demand items with many options, such as computers. Make-to-order has high production costs, but low inventory carrying costs and low planning costs. This model is for items that have sporadic demand patterns or that come in a wide variety of configurations or options. Configure-to-order, mass-producing items that can be configured after being ordered, is a short lead time extension of make-to-order that has moderate production and inventory carrying costs. It is used when it would take longer to assemble the item than the customer is willing to wait. Delivery times can be reduced and customer experiences tailored. Engineer-to-order, for example, construction of a building, has production and inventory costs that can be initiated after payment is agreed upon. The asset footprint is the primary source of an organization's costs. Three models for how these costs can be configured are: global asset footprint. All production for a good or service takes place at one set of locations for distribution globally. This model increases economies of scale and minimizes unit production costs. It is best for items that require highly specialized expertise and are capital intensive. There will also be a cost to address business interruption risk. Regional asset footprint. Production and sales are localized by region. This cost model is best when transportation costs or time are a significant part of the decision. Products can also be produced to meet regional requirements. Different types of products can be made in different regions for some cross-swapping of products. Country-specific asset footprint. Production and sales are localized by country. This model is best when transportation costs or time requirements are prohibitively high relative to the sell price weight of the good. Avoidance of duties and tariffs or compliance with a country's local sourcing regulations can be other reasons for using this model. The decisions regarding what to own and what to source through contracts will have a large impact on the organization's cost structure. In addition, some areas have tax incentives to attract business, while others have higher taxes. Comply with standards, regulations, and sustainable best practices.
A revenue view model explains how a company makes money. It starts by choosing sales channels, either to website or sales team,
Or each channel comes with different costs and profit margins. Direct channels offer more control and higher margins, but indirect ones can expand your reach faster.
Choosing the right mix depends on your customer segments, demand, and profitability. But be careful. Channels can compete with each other if not managed strategically.
Channels can be direct or indirect. That is, from a dedicated sales force or web page or through intermediaries, such as distributors or retailers. Each sales channel will have different profit margins, depending on the cost of setting up and maintaining that channel, and the amount of profit that each supply chain partner retains. Customer segmentation and customer profitability, which are discussed in Module 2, Section B, Manage the relationship with supply chain partners, are the primary decision points regarding which channels to maintain and promote for which customers. Other decisions related to the revenue model include who gets goods or services when demand outstrips supply, and whether to offer channels that directly compete with one another, such as a self-service vending machine or web.
Thank you for watching us. Please like, share, and subscribe the Expertise Station channel.